Alternative, if you oppose death penalty, it'll cost about 11 million. So,
good stuff.
Stories we wish we didn't have to tell. I have more questions than I do answers, so I think I'll start out with a few quotations randomly from folks with more knowledge than I have. The first is Elie Wiesel, a survivor of the Holocaust. I will never forget the moment that my God was murdered, and my soul, and my dreams were turned to dust. I will never forget it. Elie Wiesel. Oscar Wilde. I know not whether laws are right or whether laws are wrong. All that we know who lie in jail is that the walls are strong, and that each day is like a year whose days are long. And then to lighten just a bit, or perhaps not, from the captain of the Red Legs, Outlaw Josie Wales. The captain was asked why he kept on pursuing, and he responded, "There ain't no end to doing right." My name is George White, and I presently call the road home. I was born and raised in Southern California. I'm the product of a Southern Baptist daddy from Spartanburg, South Carolina, and an Irish Roman Catholic mother from Brooklyn, New York. And it may explain why, for some 30 years of my adult life, my membership has been in the United Methodist Church. But be that as it may, I am a storyteller. Twice blessed and twice cursed. Daddy, Southern storyteller. My mother, Irish tradition. Shoot, we can't put anything in 25 words or less when 10,000 will do. But I'll try to curtail a little bit this evening. Most of you have heard my story at one time or another, I'm sure. And if you haven't, well, for the one person here tonight, let me give a version of some of the stories, because there are many. I grew up in Southern California, literally on a surfboard. That was going to be my life's vocation. However, as my parents pointed out, considering my skill level and the fact it paid absolutely nothing back in those years, I was encouraged to get into other endeavors. Probably some wise counsel on their part. I took a little vacation after my first year in college. For a few weeks, I and 5 friends were going to surf the coast of Baja California. That 5-week trip turned into about 12 weeks, and I was about 3 weeks late for the start of fall semester. And of course, I refer to those as my single, young, and stupid years. When I got back, I found that I had to wait until January to start classes, but I got a notice from the United States government in December. This was 1967, and they invited me to attend a war they had going on. I was drafted into the United States Army. I spent 2 years. I got out, and I started to hitchhike back to California. You could still do that back in those years. However, I had an older half-brother that lived down in Central Florida. Well, he was full size. It was same father, different mothers. And I hitchhiked down there to visit Bob and his family and planned on staying a couple of weeks. I was there 3 or 4 days, and there was a young man about my age, Bobby Jamie. And I was over at his apartment one evening, and I asked Bobby, I said, "Are there any young ladies here in town that you could introduce me to?" And he reached over and he grabbed a book, and it turned out to be his high school yearbook. And he opened it up, and he started to turn the page, and handed it to me, and I started to turn the pages. And I said, her. Her name was Charlene. I called her Char. We were married 6 months later. Jumping forward some 14 and a half years, I had gotten my degrees in business management and economics. Char and I had 2 small children. My son Tom was 12 and daughter Christie 5. We were living in Enterprise, Alabama, where I was vice president and general manager of an independent chain of building supply stores. Enterprise was a small city of about 20,000. Our general offices were adjacent to the store there in Enterprise. We were living our little piece of the American dream. I was president of the PTA, Little League coach, taught Sunday school on Sundays. Now, was my life devoid of sin? No. I did my share of lying, cheating, and stealing in a yuppie kind of way, if you will. For the sins I've committed, confront me with them, I will admit them and accept any punishment. For the sins I did not commit, I will never accept the punishment.